Your news starts now.
Good evening, I'm Scott Koral.
50 to 60 firefighters on scene, 12 units to help douse a fire that didn't just take out one house, it took out two. The accident that took the life of 11-year-old Easton Tome wasn't just a tragedy for the family, it was a tragedy for the whole community. In the 30 years since 1993, the first year Reggie White played with the Packers, Green Bay has only had 5 losing seasons. That's the Reggie White effect. Police are asking people in the 500 block of Edgewood Drive to evacuate the area. Let me get out of the way so you can see what's going on right here. We're just down the street at the request of officers. Many people in the area are receiving an alert message on their cell phones just a short time ago, asking people in the area to leave and bring their family members and pets with them to a safe location due to a residential gas leak. Police are saying there is no immediate danger to the general public at this time. Now, we are working to gather more information about this gas leak, and we'll bring you the very latest information both on the air and online at WBAY.com. In Green Bay, Scott Koral, Action 2 News. Administrators and students here at Cahulla Creek High School in Dalton got the surprise they never wanted to hear. A now former teacher faces charges in a child predator sting in nearby Floyd County. With his conviction on second-degree murder and aggravated assault charges, Tamarion Johnson is facing a minimum of 11.5 years in prison and a maximum of 25 years minus time served. At the Criminal Courts Building, Scott Koral, News 12 Now. Holy Family Catholic Community Church holds a bi-weekly youth group meeting on Thursdays, and they always come with a purpose, an intention, according to youth coordinator Andrew Skiff. Tonight's intention was to honor Tommy Koenigs and Nevin Zock. The indictment of Melissa Blair gives a timeline of her sexual escapades with 8 students at McMinn Central High School. The details show Blair as the aggressor, leading to 18 counts of statutory rape and 4 counts of human trafficking by patronizing prostitution.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Law enforcement in and around Fond du Lac County are charging 10 people in connection with a monumental methamphetamine and fentanyl ring.
Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney says the group is responsible for the distribution of 100 pounds of meth with a street value of, get this, $1 million. Scott Koral live now in the studio with how law enforcement learned about the ring. Scott.
Cammy, Bill, this bust was months in the making, beginning with rumors of drug sales at an address in Fond du Lac in January. The investigation didn't take off until one of the co-conspirators became an informant.
Investigations into criminal conspiracy networks suspected to be involved in the trafficking of dangerous drugs has been among the greatest priorities for the City of Fond du Lac Police Department and Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office.
Law enforcement filed charges for the distribution of more than 50 grams of meth for 10 people. In the criminal complaint against suspected ringleader Melvin Kemp, it says police developed 2 informants about the ring back in June. One of them was someone who spoke to police against her own legal interests, Julie Kershak. She told police she was a runner for Kemp who fronted her meth, which she then sold and gave Kemp the profits. She also rolled over on another runner, Samantha Nett. Another informant who remains anonymous told police he received a total of about 40 ounces of meth to sell from Kemp and some of his workers in 20 different transactions. The complaint also says that informant claims Kemp got paid through cash apps and the mail. From there, all the walls came tumbling down.
This is another example of a case that grew to this level out of the hard work of a patrol level, in this case sheriff's deputy, doing his thing out on the highways, out on the streets, gathering intelligence and then passing that intelligence and that information on to our MEG unit, who grew this case into the size and magnitude that it is.
It isn't any one entity that can investigate substantial drug trafficking organizations like this, and without interagency cooperation with local, state, and federal officials, a case like this isn't possible.
Police say this ring was responsible for selling 100 pounds of meth, but when police arrested 7 of the 10 suspects, only 3 pounds of meth were recovered. Officers also found 280 grams of fentanyl, which would have posed a bigger problem for residents of Fond du Lac County.
The fentanyl that had been seized was enough to kill every resident in Fond du Lac County, as well as thousands more, with a population of approximately 104,000 people.
The 3 men who are not in custody are these 3 men: Jason Norton, Anthony Tynan, and Dalton Wojkiewicz. Anyone with information on their whereabouts is asked to call their local police department. If any of them are convicted of conspiracy to deliver meth and other charges, all suspects face a possible 40-year prison sentence. Off the shores of Lake Michigan, tucked away in Manitowoc, they shine, they sparkle, they spin. Welcome to Tinseltown, the town that put the aluminum Christmas tree on the map, Evergleam, now on full display through downtown Manitowoc.
This would be typically what you would see in a 60s home, because it'd be a hodgepodge of everybody's ornaments, stuff from grandma, stuff from aunt, whoever had ornaments, they put them on there.
These are things you grew up with. And so I think that there's a generation now that remembers that kind of simple time.
Evergleam trees were all the rage from 1959 to the mid-70s. While they weren't the first aluminum trees, they were the most inexpensive and the smallest to fit inside your car to take them home. Koral and Bundy Yost hope to show that Manitowoc, thanks to its history of being an aluminum manufacturing town, is important to the old Christmas spirit.
Aluminum manufacturing for the last 100 years has been key to helping the middle class in Manitowoc live a good, healthy lifestyle. And so we really feel that young people should come to town or live in town and respect the history of where they're living. And so we would like to preserve that history.
That preservation began in 2015 when a man from Manitowoc came back with several Evergleam trees to put on display in his old hometown. He asked Koral, then the president of the neighborhood association, if she would be interested. At first she wasn't, but relented only if the man would do most of the work, which he did.
He and I kind of started it just by ourselves, and then it just kept expanding and expanding.
But it's an important piece of bringing people to our community. We live in a beautiful spot where we have a lake, we have a river, and we've got this bustling downtown full of glittering trees, and I think that that's a wonderful thing to share.
The Manitowoc Kitchmas Group offers guided tours of Evergleams on 8th through downtown. You can join one either by trolley or a walking tour if you want to get some extra steps in, but you have to do so before New Year's. In Manitowoc, Scott Koral, Action 2 News.
Crime data from the FBI and sorted by CBS News shows that the clearance rate in Tennessee is at its lowest point in 20 years, 40%. Here in Chattanooga, one of those still unsolved eats at the craw of the lead investigator of the Grove Street shooting that killed 2 women and injured 5 others.
If we could go back in time, if we could come here September 25th, 2021, this place was booming. We had a West Side reunion, people enjoying themselves, music going, young ladies just enjoying life. You could see there was all kinds of people out here just having a great time. And for a great day that they had, some of the memories that were shared that day, to have it end in such a tragic way was such a sad thing.
9 months later, 6 children must grow up without their mother. 2 families mourn the loss of their loved ones. And a community continues to ask the question of who did it.
As your chief, a woman, and a mother, I'm burdened with the fact that no one has come forward to speak on behalf of these 7 women. So I'm asking you today to speak up, to stand up, to rise up for these women and send a powerful message to those who brought discord to this community.
There was vehicles stretched all the way down here on each side of the road. There was hundreds of people out here, people on that side of the road, people on this side of the road. Today we look around and there's not a lot of people out here, but every one of these people that you see out here have been, their lives have been changed because of this very event.
The definition of a cold case is an unsolved criminal investigation which remains open pending the discovery of new evidence. Detective Slaughter says he's not giving up, but he needs help to solve the case. He tells News 12 he only needs one person to come forward, but the process is long and takes a lot of courage, and that's something that is hard for much of the community to do.
If we went back here September 25th, if I could have told them what was about to happen at 10 o'clock, nobody would believe it, and then I guess it's hard for me to believe that we have so few people that are willing to come forward and to help us to think that we're not there yet to be able to bring justice within the justice system for that family is very frustrating.
Detective Slaughter is asking anyone with pictures or videos from the West Side reunion to send them through the new Atlas One mobile application. It doesn't ask for your name or any vital information, so you can send them anonymously.
A friend of one of the victims, Demetrius Bridges, told News 12 that the community is the key to the case. It's the difference between getting justice for the families of the victims and protecting the killers so crime goes without punishment. In the studio, Scott Koral, News 12 Now.
When the Tennessee State Senate debated the homelessness bill on the floor Wednesday, it didn't take long for people to forget about the actual bill.
In only 31 seconds, Senator Frank Nicely of Strawberry Plains equated homelessness with one of the most ruthless people in the world history. Making matters worse, tomorrow is a Jewish holiday, Passover. It's tonight's top local story.
Tomorrow marks the 10-year anniversary of the death of Trayvon Martin in Sanford, Florida. It's something many in this area and across the country will never forget.
While Martin's death was not a police issue, it did spark debate on how police view the wearing of hoodies by black youth and even the character of blacks themselves. I spoke with a local pastor, the new police chief, and the first African-American female sheriff in DeKalb County's history. And that's how law enforcement has changed regarding race relations in the last decade. It's tonight's top local story.
Gas prices across the country increased 18% in March, according to the Consumer Price Index.
And there might not be much relief in sight with summer approaching. The national average for a gallon of gas is $4.08, according to AAA, and a gallon topped $6 in some areas of the country just last month. Here in Chattanooga, the average price is $3.74 a gallon, which you can find in places closer to East Ridge. People here know it's put a crimp in everything that they do.
It's been an impact for sure. I mean, we try to limit what we do, but we're not completely changing what we do. We still go and do plenty, but you just have to be a little bit more mindful about it and try not to waste it.
Some perspective, a gallon of gas cost 65 cents in 1978. If you just add a price for inflation, that would be $2.99 a gallon in today's economy.
I think we're all going to enjoy that. I know I am certainly going to enjoy it. What about you, Scott?
80s are my jam. Dollywood has a new ride. Our own Brian Armstrong will show us his experience up next as News 12 at 11 continues. Boy, it's going to be a hot one this week, so if you see me sweaty, now you know why. Thanks for joining us on News 12 Now at 11. When it's late on July 3rd and you hear popping sounds right outside your workplace, it's likely fireworks. This is exactly what we got out the back door at News 12 Now. Not bad. Lookout Mountain as a backdrop. You have really Dunkin' Donuts is over to your left, but you can't see it. But, you know, it was beautiful. It's kind of what I enjoy. Fireworks on the 3rd.
Yeah, and at least we had good weather for it. And we had good weather for most of the fireworks that were downtown tonight. So that's always a plus.
Now, I want people to get your on-air experience of the rant you had about fireworks should be on the 4th, not the 3rd.
Oh, yeah, that's just my soapbox right here. I'm just sad I missed my fireworks.
Well, you got
but
these.
That's okay.
You got these?
Yeah, but I didn't go see them. I should have. I don't know why. But taking a last look at 7-day forecast, we'll be in the 90s for the rest of the week, and we'll have those afternoon showers and storms. Just the typical summertime weather here in Chattanooga. So we're starting to sound like a broken record here.
Well, that's kind of what we do so well.
Right?
Exactly.
It's the dark side of the 90s. Happy 4th, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.